She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my NFL Week 6 Power Rankings. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, at number 32, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars, they lost to the Titans and are 0-5. They are one of two teams which are still winless. Now, honestly, this team needs to get their heads together. They lost to the Titans, which was expected, but I'm just going to say this. Their coach is accused. I don't know if he's either accused. I think he's accused, actually, of cheating on his wife. I don't know if he is guilty or not, but he is accused of cheating on his wife while the team is crumbling apart, like on offense and defense. Trevor Lawrence not doing as well as hoped. Like, he's probably going to break Peyton Manning's interception record for a rookie quarterback pretty soon, because that's just how bad the Jaguars are on offense. Not because Trevor is a bad quarterback, because it's a bad team in general. And honestly, they need to get their heads together for 2022. Now at 31, we got the Detroit Lions, the other 0-5 team, which just lost to the Vikings on a game-winning field goal. The Lions had the game won, but as always, they don't have a defense, and they allowed the Vikings to get into field goal range and kick a game-winning field goal to win it 19-17. Now, the Lions, I'm just going to say this. Their curse with Bobby Lane's curse is still there. Even though it's past 50 years, I still say that the Bobby Lane curse is still there. Because honestly, how do you got guys like Barry Sanders? How did you get a Matthew Stafford? How do you get a Calvin Johnson and are still unable to even win a playoff game, or at the least make it to the NFC Championship game? Like, really, Detroit? Really? Like, I'm just saying, the Lions are a horrible franchise right now, and honestly, they need to work on the offseason, because this year is not going to be a playoff season for the Detroit Lions. Now at number 30, we got the Houston Texans at 1-4. Now, they nearly pulled off the upset win against the New England Patriots. Davis Mills hasn't been doing that bad, but to be honest, the Texans aren't going to be doing that good this season, whether it's Mills or Taylor at the quarterback position. Regardless of that, I don't think that Mills is going to be the future franchise quarterback of the Texans. I think that he'll most likely be a backup in the future. Maybe they can mold him into a future franchise quarterback instead of drafting a quarterback in the first round and then ruining his career, aka Deshaun Watson. Even though he was drafted in the first round by a terrible team, he was still able to lead them to the playoffs. I mean, that says a lot about Deshaun Watson. And honestly, I hope he leaves the Texans, because this of him being benched is not going to be good for neither the Houston Texans or Deshaun Watson. Now at number 29, we got the New York Jets at 1-4, losing in London against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they nearly did it. They nearly came back and won this game. But the Falcons decided, we're not going to choke this game. We're going to win it. And they did 27-20. Now, the Jets, honestly, I think Zach Wilson's doing an alright job. Not a good job, an alright job. But also, that Jets D is going to have to get worked on in this offseason. Because honestly, even though you got Robert Saleh as your head coach, it still doesn't mean that you're going to have a ginormously good defense. But regardless of that, I think that they're on the right track, and in the future, they will make it back into the playoffs. Now, on to the number 28 team, the Miami Dolphins at 1-4, and of course, losing to the Buccaneers, that was expected, although they did lose by a mile. But honestly, I see that this team needs Tua. They need Tua back, and honestly, even though Tua is injury prone, he is the best quarterback the Dolphins have right now. And yes, that's over Brissett, who's the current starter. Now, honestly, I think that the Miami Dolphins could be a playoff team still. Although, that would be as a wild card team because I don't think they will even come close to winning the division over the Bills. But that's just a possibility as a 7th seed. But for right now, I see the Miami Dolphins as a possible playoff contender and a team that desperately needs its quarterback. Now, on to the New York Giants at 1-4, facing off against the Cowboys, losing to the Cowboys. I think that this is going to be, honestly, maybe it's a good year for the Giants. Maybe not. Like, they lost their quarterback due to a concussion. Hopefully, he's back for this next game. Then you lose Kenny Golladay. I think they lost also Saquon Barkley. They also, I think, lost some other receiver. I think Sterling Shepard was also one of the receivers they lost. But I think that this team, even though they have these injuries, I think that they can work around it. Next man up. That's what you need to have. That mentality of next man up. And I think the Giants could do it. Although, I don't know if it's possible for this team against this next team that they're going to be coming up against. Now, coming in at number 26, we got the Indianapolis Colts at 1-4. Now, they nearly did it. They nearly beat the Ravens in Baltimore in, honestly, an incredible game where the Colts were up by 2 scores. And by the way, they were 120-0 when it came to winning a game with 2 scores. I believe like 16 plus points. But honestly, the Ravens decided, yeah, you know what? Even though you have that lead and that record, we're going to smash it because guess what? We are the better team. And honestly, the Ravens proved it. Honestly, Blankenship, horrible missed kicks. One was blocked though. But I still think that the Baltimore Ravens definitely deserve this win over the Indianapolis Colts. Now at number 25, we got the Atlanta Falcons coming off a win as they go 2-3 after their win over the Jets in London. Now, this win, honestly, we all knew that the Falcons were going to win. I didn't think the Jets were going to win. But it was impressive that the Jets nearly came back and won the game. That would have been a giant upset for the Atlanta Falcons. Although they did win and they did go on to 2-3. Now, honestly, I see the Falcons as a franchise that will not even make the playoffs, not even close. The Panthers and the Buccaneers are the 2 teams that are most likely going to make it, but that only depends if the Seahawks and Niners make the playoffs, because if neither of those 2 make the playoffs, then the Panthers have a chance. Now at 24, we got the Philadelphia Eagles winning over the Carolina Panthers, and honestly, as they go 2-3, they win over the Panthers. Honestly, an upset win. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles honestly did a good job. They did a good job in this game, and honestly, Sam Darnold seeing ghost again. But honestly, the Panthers need to work on their offense and mostly their defense, because honestly, that defense was very good during the first 3 games. They got a 3-0 start, but now they're on a 2-game losing streak. They got to get it together and get back to their winning ways if they even want to have a chance at making the playoffs. Coming in at number 23, we got the Washington football team. At 2-3, they lose to the Saints. And honestly, this is an upset. I think this was an upset. I believed that the Washington football team was going to win. But honestly, Jameis Winston proved me wrong. And honestly, hopefully, he keeps proving me wrong, because I want Jameis Winston to show the true potential he has as the number 1 overall pick back in 2015. I want to know if he actually has what it takes to be the successor to Drew Brees, and not the guy that they're just going to be putting there for a while until they get the replacement of Drew Brees. Because for now, he isn't the replacement. He's just the guy that's going to be there until they get the replacement. Although, the way he's playing, kind of see him as a possible starter in the years to come. Now, coming in at number 22, we got the New England Patriots at 2-3. Now, the they win over the Texans. That is expected. But the Texans nearly won this game. They nearly had the Patriots. And honestly, I think that the Patriots are losing their touch. Not because they lost to Tom Brady. Not because they lost to all these other teams like the Saints, which were led by Jameis Winston. I think they're losing their touch because they don't have the GOAT anymore. And that's the reason why they're losing. And at least having losing seasons. Because honestly, I think it was Brady. I think it was Brady who led those teams to Super Bowls, not Belichick. And honestly, I want Belichick to prove me wrong by winning and getting back to the playoffs. Now, coming in at number 21, we got the Chicago Bears. And the Bears at 3-2. I did not expect this. After their upset win over the Las Vegas Raiders, who, of course, I'm going to be speaking about their coach when I get to them. But regardless of that, I think that the Bears have been doing a great job. Justin Fields has definitely proven himself and definitely will remain the starter for the rest of the year. Even though earlier in the few weeks ago, I think a week ago, they had said that Andy Dalton was going to be the future quarterback if healthy. Now, they've gone back on that and said, nah, we're going to just go with Fields as the full-on starter. And honestly, I think that that's the right decision to make because Fields has been doing very well. Now, on to the Denver Broncos at 3-2. They lose to the Steelers, honestly. Teddy Bridgewater coming back from injury. And honestly, I think that the Bridgewater we saw earlier in the year, I think he's gone because they lost to the Steelers. Even though the Steelers actually played a good game of football, I think that even so, I think that the Denver Broncos could do a lot better. And hopefully they do here in week 6. Now, on to number 19, which is the Vikings at 2-3. After their win over the Lions, I think that the Vikings 100% have a chance to not only be one of the top teams in their division, but also to possibly make the playoffs. Because honestly, even though they're 2-3, I know the Bears have a better record, and the Packers aren't going to be losing their division title to the Vikings. Although, I think that they can get the 7th seed. If Seattle and San Francisco are eliminated, I think that 100% is possible that any of the NFC North teams could actually make the playoffs as that 7th seed or even the 6th seed. But for right now, I see the Vikings as a terrible team doing good. Now, on to number 18. And we are going to Heinz Field. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-3. They win over the Broncos. Now, honestly, what a game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers team that we used to love and see. But to be honest, I did see some flaws. But there's always going to be flaws in every game. You're not going to be flawless every game. But regardless, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers 100% deserve this win. They deserved it. They didn't win this game because the team was terrible, the opposing team, but they won it because they were the better team. And honestly, I expect them to do even better next week. Now at number 17, where do I go with the Raiders? The Raiders at 3-2, losing to the Bears. And honestly, before that game, John Gruden had an email specifically being racist to I don't remember, Dorius Smith, something like that. He was being racist to him in an email, and Gruden had defended himself, saying that it was a private email, that he wasn't supposed to be public, yada, yada, yada. Understandable. But then some more emails being homophobic and sexist, racist, etc. came out, and he definitely could not defend himself 100%. And he decided on Monday Night Football to resign as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Honestly, we all know that this was the correct decision by Gruden and by Mark Davis, because even so, if he had not resigned, Mark would have most likely fired him. One of the two was going to happen, so he decided to resign. And his special teams coordinator, I believe, is the one that's going to take over as the Raiders head coach. But honestly, the Raiders are still doing good. Even though they lost to the Bears, I think that they will still do good with their special teams coordinator as their head coach. Now, on to the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-2, losing to the Packers, but in a close game, and the kickers McPherson and Crosby. I'm going to have to crucify you two because you guys missed so many kicks. It was like you guys were trying to give the game to the other team. That's how it looked like. And honestly, Crosby came out in the end with the win. And honestly, I think that the Packers and Bengals game was honestly one of the most interesting games this week. Because honestly, how many times do you see a kicking battle basically to try to win the game? I know kicking honestly isn't that it's not like that interesting. But in this game it was, because you could see the unstoppable Green Bay Packers taking on the Bengals, and the Bengals giving them a fight to win. And honestly, what a good game. Now at number 15, we got the Carolina Panthers, 3-2, losing to the Eagles. Something's happening to that defense, and I'm not liking it. The Panthers, honestly, what is wrong with Sam Darnold? I think he's losing his touch. Although this might just be a fluke and they might win next week. But they're going to have to do a lot to actually take the win next week, because I think that the 100% the Carolina Panthers are going to be a tough team to beat. But if you get in their heads, I think it's going to be an easy win. Coming in at number 14, the 3-2 New Orleans Saints. Honestly, the Saints at 3-2 after their win over Washington. This is impressive. Jameis Winston, you're impressing me. You haven't won me yet. You haven't won me on you being a good quarterback. But you're getting there. You're getting there. And hopefully you get there, because I would love to see Jameis Winston being a star quarterback and the quarterback he was supposed to be in Tampa. And honestly, Tampa did a lot better with Tom Brady than Jameis Winston. But maybe in the future, Jameis Winston could lead the Saints back to the playoffs and possibly to future Super Bowl contending seasons. Now, on to number 13, the 49ers at 2-3. Their loss over the Cardinals? I think that the Cardinals aren't that good of a team, but I think that the 49ers are definitely losing their touch, like another NFC West team, which I will be speaking of next. But regardless of that, I think the 49ers, with Jimmy G, they are a lot better, but they are also good with Trey Lance. Trey Lance has been doing well, but without Trey Lance or Jimmy G, don't expect these guys to win. Now, here at number 12, I'm about to be very angry, and that is because my Seahawks, which I have ranked over the 49ers, yes, and they are 2-3, yes. They lost to the Rams on Thursday Night Football, yes. We lost Russell Wilson for about 4 to 8 months. He'll probably come back by week 10 when we face the Packers. But, oh my god, this is a frustrating game. And it's more frustrating because even though Geno Smith had a good game against the Los Angeles Rams, I still don't like the idea of Geno Smith as the Seahawks starting quarterback. By the way, this is the first time since week 1 of 2012 where Russell Wilson will not be playing in a football game in the NFL. As we all know, in 2012, he started week 1 and never looked back. He hasn't missed a single NFL game until now. He will be missing next week's game. And honestly, hopefully Wilson gets better. And hopefully the Seattle Seahawks won't lose as many games as I think. Now at number 11, we got the Tennessee Titans at 3-2. They win over the Jaguars. They did it. They won over a team that they were expected to win. But honestly, the Titans are doing good. They're doing well. Although they are honestly the best team in that division. The Jaguars are trash. The Texans are trash. And so are the Colts. So it's clear and obvious that the Titans will be running for that division title alone. Because I don't think, even if Carson Wentz is going to be doing incredibly, I don't think that he'll lead the Colts to a division title. Although, don't rule out a wild card spot for the Indianapolis Colts. Now at number 10, we got the Cleveland Browns. And 3-2 lost to the Chargers. Very good game. 42-47. Honestly, I think that the Browns might trade OBJ before the deadline. I think that OBJ is getting traded. Either ways, he will not be a Cleveland Brown in 2022. I think that, honestly, the Browns will get rid of him before or after the season ends. And honestly, I think that it's going to be before. I think he's going to get traded. And if he doesn't, well, they're most likely either release or trade him in the offseason, because there's no way that OBJ will be on this team. Now at number 9, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. What is wrong with the Chiefs? A 2-3 record. They lose to the Bills, understandably. But honestly, tell me how. How you have honestly won only 2 games in the past 5 weeks. This is not the Kansas City Chiefs that I saw go to the Super Bowl and get destroyed by Tom Brady. This is not that team. This is even worse. And honestly, their only bright stars are Josh Gordon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who left with an injury, Damian Williams in the backfield, as well, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. That's basically what I believe is the best of the best of Kansas City. And even with all that, they aren't able to win more than 2 games. Honestly, hopefully Kansas City will get back on track and win this division like I expect them to. Now, on to number 8, which is the Dallas Cowboys at 4-1. Easy game against the Giants. It was expected. Although, all those injuries to the New York Giants really helped the Dallas Cowboys out. Really helped them out. But I'm just going to say this. The Dallas Cowboys are making the playoffs as the division title. But are they going to have a winning record? Maybe. That's a maybe. But honestly, I would expect them to possibly even be maybe 1 game over 500 or 1 game below 500. I think that that's where they're going to be. But they're going to have enough wins to win this division outright. Now, on to the Arizona Cardinals. And honestly, their win over the 49ers, 5-0, only undefeated team in the NFL. And honestly, well deserved. Well friggin' deserved. But honestly, even though I have them ranked so low for an undefeated team, I think that there are so many better teams than the Arizona Cardinals that deserve to actually be ahead of them, even though they don't have a positive record. Or better yet, they don't have a better record than the Arizona Cardinals, because every other team ahead of them is 4-1. But there's reasons for me putting them ahead of the Cardinals. Now, on to the Los Angeles Rams at number 6. 4-1, beat the Seahawks. Well-deserved win. Matthew Stafford, incredible quarterback. Honestly, Deshaun Jackson did very well. Cooper Kupp did well. Tyler Higbee did well. Henderson did well. That defense did incredible. Honestly. But are they the better team than Arizona? Maybe, but just by a smidge. But even though they lost to the Cardinals, I think that that was just a fluke game against the Arizona Cardinals. I think that next time they meet, they will be taking the win over Arizona. But don't be so sure that the Los Angeles Rams will be the top team in this division. Now, on to the Los Angeles Chargers at number 5. Now, their win over the Browns, very good win. Honestly, Justin Herbert, very good quarterback. He's one of the top 4 quarterbacks in my list now. You got Tom Brady on that list. You got Patrick Mahomes on that list. You got also Josh Allen on that list. And you got Lamar Jackson on that list. And, of course, as I just stated, Justin Herbert. Now, there are some other quarterbacks that could be on the list. Although one of them is injured, which is my quarterback, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. Although he hasn't been doing as well as I'd hope, so he's not on the top 5. But he is considered to be one of the best quarterbacks in this league right now, even though he got injured. Because if he comes back better than ever, then he'll definitely be a possible MVP candidate for 2022, because there's no way he's winning it this year. Now, at number 4, we got the Green Bay Packers winning over the Bengals. Honestly, the Packers, oh my God, what happened to the Packers in this game when it came to the kicking game? Just like I did with Cincinnati. Honestly, interesting game because of the kickers. But the Packers did deserve the win at the end. Honestly, it was just you took your chances. You took your chances and you got your win. Unlike the Bengals, who did take their chances but failed. But regardless of that, I think that the Green Bay Packers are 100% going to win their division and make the playoffs. Now, at number 3, we got the Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens winning over the Colts. Honestly, very good game for both teams. Although the Ravens did come out on top, I think that this is going to be a wake-up call for the Colts. While the Ravens push in as the AFC North champions, because I think it's either going to be Cleveland or Baltimore winning that division, because Pittsburgh isn't going to do it and Cincinnati ain't going to even challenge for that division title. I think that it's most likely in between Cleveland and Baltimore for that. Now at number 2, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions of the world, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, 4-1, win against the Dolphins. Nothing more to say. Tom Brady, very good quarterback. Honestly, even though I kind of dislike him, Antonio Brown, doing very good. Mike Evans, doing very good. Godwin, doing good. Ron Jones, doing good. Fournette, doing good. That defense, doing good. That's all you need to know. All you need to know is that they're doing good and they're going to go back to the NFC Championship game. Now, ending it off with the number 1 team, in my opinion, the 4-1 Buffalo Bills. Now, their win over the Chiefs definitely puts them, well, keeps them in the lead. But honestly, it's because Baltimore, Tampa, and Green Bay have not done as much as Josh Allen and the Bills have done. And honestly, I think that the Bills are most likely going to be the number 1 seed at one point in their conference. Because honestly, I see this division and of the AFC East going to the Bills no matter what, and the AFC crown going to the Bills no matter what. There is some possibilities for Baltimore, Los Angeles, and Cleveland, but still, I think that they have it in the bag. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think is going to be the better team in Week 7? Tampa? Buffalo? Baltimore? Los Angeles? Who do you think? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.